Adam here with the Walser Automotive Group, and what I want to do today is take you on a test drive. So next to me here, I have a 2024 Toyota Land Cruiser. So we'll look at the interior, the exterior, some of the options that are available, and then see what it's like out on the road. Okay, so now we're behind the wheel of the 24 Land Cruiser, and now this is the premium package. So this is kind of the mid-tier trim level. So there's a lot of good equipment, even down to the base model where you can still get the cloth seats, but I wanted to show this one because it's kind of a good mix of what you can get and a few other things you can add. So let's put it in drive, go for a spin around. Now, I have to admit, this is one I was pretty excited about because I think the Land Cruiser is such an awesome nameplate for the Toyota vehicle lineup, and they did such a good job with this redesign. I thought it looked really cool, so I was excited to get behind the wheel and just see what it was all about. So all of these Land Cruisers are going to be powered by the same power plant. It's on Toyota's global platform, and now this is the 2.4 liter, and this is the iForce Max Hybrid. So what that means is you're going to be looking at about 25 mpg on the highway. Now, it's going to get you 23 combined, which means you're looking at 22 in the city. So that's one of those great things about the hybrid technology, especially with this one being four-wheel drive. It's going to be an all-time four-wheel drive system. So that hybrid system is certainly going to help you out and return pretty decent fuel economy in return. Now, when behind the wheel of this vehicle, I really like it. The interior is really comfortable. Now, the premium package goes from, like I said, those cloth seats or the Softex, and this is going to be a leather appointed seat. Now, the driver's seat is going to be power, it's got lumbar, and then we've got a power seat on the passenger side as well. But the material is really comfortable. There's actually a little kind of thigh bolster here. You can move in and out manually if you want a little bit more room, but I was able to immediately get very comfortable behind the wheel. And these are heated seats, and they're also air-conditioned seats. It is hot today, so with the ventilated seats going, I am definitely liking the options in this premium package. But the steering wheel in here is awesome. All your controls are on here. And once you kind of figure it out, it's very usable, and you can configure the full digital gauge cluster here. So you can actually hold down the OK button and go left to right to configure the information you want to see. Maybe it's the compass, maybe it's your fuel economy. This is also going to have adaptive cruise control. So what's cool is you can set 4, 3, 2, 1 car length distances ahead of you, and it's going to keep that distance when you're on the road. So I've also got the heads-up display in the premium package. So the Toyota Safety Sense 3.0 has some pretty awesome equipment in here. Things like blind spot monitoring, there's crash detection, there's that adaptive cruise control. There's just a ton of safety for, obviously, if you and your family are going to be in the vehicle, you're going to want to make sure you're safe. Now, what else is cool in here when you go from the standard or the 1958 trim up to this premium package? You get the 12.3-inch display. So as I'm coming up to a stop here, the camera kicks on and it actually gives me a front-facing view. So I can see the vehicle from a top-down view on the side, and then I can actually see the crosswalk. So if it's a busy intersection or you're downtown, that is a really cool feature. But even beyond that, the 12.3-inch screen is going to have wireless Apple CarPlay and wireless Android Auto. So I've got my text messaging, my Google Maps, all that good stuff built right into here. And this model does get the upgraded JBL sound system. So when I had my music going earlier, I was pretty surprised at how good it really did sound in here. Now, let's talk about just the general layout of the cabin. There's kind of some of these bronze accents that run through. They're on the steering wheel, they're on the vent here. It also runs through the dash, and it works really nicely with this smoky blue with the white top exterior. It does kind of give you that retro feel, but with a little bit more style and luxury. This does feel kind of a little bit more luxurious than I was expecting when I first saw the photos of the vehicle. It's really comfortable in here, and everything is at arm's reach, and it works really well. You've also got things like wireless charging. There's 3 USB-C ports down here, and then right next to that, there's that little view button that you can click to pull up the camera. But if you're doing a little bit of off-roading or overlanding, there is different drive modes and then your multi-terrain select. So you can actually click that button and go through a bunch of different modes to fine-tune the vehicle to be exactly what you need it to do, whether you're on-road or off-road. Now, this one does get the DAC as well as the crawl control, so if you are a little bit more serious about off-roading, the electronic locking rear and front differentials is pretty cool, and you've also got something that's called stable bar. So there is lots of great off-road capability with the Land Cruiser, as you'd expect, because it's a Land Cruiser. You would expect this thing to be even better off-road than it is on-road, and the on-road driving characteristics are awesome. So what about the general ride and drive? Now, this 2.4 liter hybrid engine has a immediate pickup. If I put my foot down, it's got a ton of torque and about mid 300 horsepower, so there's more than enough to get you going. And it's really I mean, surprising just how quick it was. Obviously, all that torque from the hybrid powertrain is really where that's coming from, and for day-to-day usability, it's really great. And then you're gonna have the full capability off-road. If you're stuck in some ruts, you're trying to get through something, that low-end grunt and turbo powertrain is definitely going to make a pretty big difference. Now, the overall ride is a little bit more firm. That's something I had seen that people were saying, yes, it drives a little bit rougher than most luxury cars, but this is a luxury off-roader almost in my mind. So I kind of want some of that truckiness to the vehicle, if that makes sense. With a body on frame, it is going to ride a little bit differently, but it's not bad. I mean, it's road construction season here in Minnesota, so the roads are terrible, everything is a pothole or under construction, and this has no problem getting through that, and it is more than comfortable and quiet when you're in here. Now you can also hear it's dead quiet. All you can hear is the air conditioning running because it has the start-stop feature, and so you can leave the vehicle, it will just kind of turn on or off as it needs power or juice to obviously run the air conditioning, but it's pretty cool and does help you save some of that fuel. Now let's talk about the exterior because I absolutely love it. This is going to give you two different headlight options. Like the FJ60 and 62, there's a round option and then the flatter option. So this base model in the Land Cruiser would get these circle headlights, and depending on what trim level you're looking at, but the Premium is going to have those 3 projector LED headlights up front with the Rigid Industries. There's also a fog light down below. So that's pretty cool. It's bringing some of that off-road equipment into day-to-day use, and with the LED daytime running lights and those headlights, it not only looks cool, but it's great for nighttime driving. Now this one also gets the Heritage grille up front, so it gives it a little bit more characteristic of kind of the old school or retro vibe, and I here am for it because it does look awesome. Then out back, it's even better. There's a little button you can press on the rear glass, and that's actually going to open the hatch, so you can just open the back to throw stuff in. It will also have a power liftgate, so if you click the button, it'll open up for you. So there's so much usability back there that it's really quite impressive. Now, obviously they had to put the hybrid battery somewhere, so you do lose a little bit of storage space, but there's little cubbies underneath. You can pick up a main one, the side ones. If you fold the second row down, there's another cubby back there. And what's actually cool about that folding second row, it's a 60-40 split. So if you're hauling some camping gear, you need a little bit of extra space, you can actually click and hold the handle on the side, and it's going to flip the seat and then flip it up again. So it's going to give you a lot of storage space back there. Plus, there's also USB-C charging back there, which is really cool. And there's just a lot of good stuff in this vehicle. And yes, the Premium does get a little bit more expensive than the base model. So we have to touch on the pricing for a second. So that base model is going to come in around $57,000. This one with all this great equipment added in goes up a little bit higher to about the $69,000 range. And again, they can go up from here. So from the previous gen Land Cruiser, I think that one was like $90,000 to $100,000 depending on equipment and trim. So they did dial it back a little bit, but yes, it is expensive, but you are getting a ton of equipment and a lot of good stuff for the money. Overall, what do I think? There's cool stuff in here, like the digital rear view mirror. This one gets the sunroof. Like I said, that JBL sound system and wireless Apple CarPlay. I love the style and design on the outside. I think the only downfall to this vehicle is now I'm gonna find myself wanting one. After driving around this afternoon, I was very impressed in how quiet, how comfortable, how much I kept looking back at the vehicle. When I'd park it to maybe shoot a photo, it's just good looking. There's so many cool colors. I've started to see a few coming in and trickling in. I think the two-tone with the Premium package is absolutely the way to go because you do get a lot of great equipment in here. You get a great ride and drive. And like I said, it comes down to having fun and looking back at the vehicle when you park it. Don't you want to drive a vehicle every day that when you lock the key, you turn around and look at it because you love seeing that vehicle in your driveway? And I think I would get that with the Land Cruiser, and I think that makes it definitely one to come out, take for a spin, and see what you think. So that was just a quick look and drive at the 24 Land Cruiser. Now, if you have any other questions or you'd like to schedule a test drive, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by Walser Toyota. We'd be more than happy to help you out. Thanks for watching.